Welcome back, man. Welcome back, man. Last of the hard, man. We got our special guest here, man. Christian Parrish, man. Welcome in.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Welcome in, man. So, we want to have you on here, man. Kind of heard your story in the training room, man. So I said, man, I got to get this kid on here, man. And actually, remember the first time we met?
Yeah. Train track.
Train track, man. It was Ware County. I was coming back here, coming back to Statesboro. It was raining. I was like, raining, stop at the train track. I was just like, why the hell somebody knocking on my window? And I look up, you was like outside the window, and I was like, what the hell? He was like, hey, man, your gas tank open. I was like, oh, appreciate it. Hey, you solid dude for that one, because I was like, I wouldn't have got out of the car, raining. Well, yeah, that's when I first met you and kind of exchanged info. Then, I know you had told me you was coming here, but, like a lot of people say they come in and you actually was here. So, salute to you for staying true to yourself and your mission to get here to school. So, first thing, man, I really want to talk about your football career, man. So, how? First of all, I did some little research on you, and high school coming out. 2-time All-Conference Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. 3-time All-State, All-Region. 1-time Conference Player of the Year. And 1-time Athlete of the Year. Mm-hmm. So, and I seen your stats was 145 catches, 3,000 yards for 35 TDs. 77 carries on 503 yards, 15 TDs, 5,000 all-purpose yards, 58 total TDs, and even defense, 130 tackles, nine picks, 5 TDs, 1,000 all-purpose yards on return yards, 3 TDs. So, dang, man, you went crazy.
That was a plan.
So where you play high school ball at, man?
So I originally started out at Rockdale High School.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to it when I tell my story, but basically it fell through there, and I had another chance to go live with my aunt and uncle and go to a private school in Athens. Okay. And it's called Prince Avenue Christian. And it was a small 1A private, but we played bigger places. Like we played like Caleb Hood at Elka and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, basically that's when I really fell in love with the game. I just realized football take me a long way in life, and it kind of helped me stay away from the streets and all the other stuff. So then I kind of focused on it then.
So my question to you is, those numbers that's very productive. Like, how'd you end up at Army to start with? How'd that go? How'd you get there?
Yeah, so I played a lot of different positions in high school. Like I said, we were at a smaller school, so I mean, it wasn't too many athletes or big pool field to pull from. But I say, really, I don't even know how it happened, but because I played receiver mostly.
Yeah.
And I played corner as well, but I never played quarterback ever in my life. And so when I was getting offered and stuff, like Georgia Southern offered me as a safety out of high school.
Okay.
I had the Air Force as a running back, Navy as a running back, Army as a quarterback because they run triple option, so it's more like running back. And then I had like a whole bunch of places for defense, but I only had like 2 places for receiver really. Right. And that was Duke, and it was Gardner Webb. Is the 2 I had for receiver. Yeah, and the Duke offer came late. I had already committed by then. And my family's like big on once you commit to something, you're going to follow through with it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so you're not going to give up on it.
They weren't with none of that switch. And
so like kind of though, like going into my senior year, I had committed that summer going into my senior year. And I'm kind of glad I did because I got injured the first game of my senior season. Yeah. But I was already like solid with Army at that point. I ended up playing the whole season on the injury, and then I ended up getting surgery after the season. But I went there to play quarterback, and they sent me to their prep school first because academies don't have redshirt years. And so the prep school is like a redshirt year, kind of. Like
so they send you to a whole nother school?
Yeah, but that school's on campus, so like it's their own personal prep school because they don't have redshirt years. Like I don't know how to explain it.
So all right, so you get to school.
Yeah.
But you're not at school. You go to another school that's on the school.
Yeah.
That's you saying?
It's on the same campus. Yeah, but it's like their own prep school. Like they just breed. They just like.
That's just.
You play for a year. You play JUCOs, other prep schools, and everything.
Oh, so you do play though.
Yeah.
It's just not like Army.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So I played there. They put me a quarterback there, and I broke every QB record they had at the prep school. And so then they put me on. I went to the academy the following year. So it was technically my sophomore year, but it was my freshman year there. And,
That's when I met you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so then I made varsity. Then made a travel team. And the first few weeks I was injured. I had like weird injuries. Like my heel pad separated from my heel. Like some weird. I don't even know what happened, but
Your heel got separated from your heel?
Yeah, like you have a heel pad on your heel, and it like separated and it bruised. I had some weird injuries. I don't know how to explain it.
I ain't gonna come. I ain't never heard of that one.
Yeah, and so then my first ever college football game, I played against Cincinnati as a running back or fullback in our offense, and I'll never forget I hurdled a dude for the first down and got caught in the air and slammed. My nose started bleeding and everything, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know if this is the game I want to play in. But nah, then I played that game. Played against Mercer as a quarterback. Played against Abilene Christian as running back, and then
so they just using you everywhere.
Yeah, and then we played y'all that year, and they had me playing safety against y'all.
So you played in that game?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Hey, but I do have a question, man. So we played Army, and there was just a rumor that did y'all run that morning before y'all played us? Do y'all run before? Do they run?
Okay.
I mean, you with us now, but when you was back then, y'all run before the games? Bruh, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be so blown up. I had to run like 6 a.m. that old game day, bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if we ran before the game, but we have had punishments. Like we've had practices one time, and our coach would be like, "Y'all don't want to practice today. Go back inside." And like we just won't practice the whole day. Or it'll be like other days we'll just stay out there for extended periods of time. And I'm like, bro, we not get back to the room till 11 p.m. I'm like, you got like I don't got homework to do, none of this. Bro. But he don't care. He run the whole school. But nah, I love Coach Munkin. He's a great head coach. I mean, he's done a lot with that program.
Hey, okay, I already knew what type of day it was gonna be. When like in warm-ups, we looked over and like y'all was like cut blocking, like practicing cutting. I was like, who warms up like this, bro?
Even the receivers.
I was like it was no ball out, no nothing. Y'all just like doing freaking cut drills. I was like, okay then. It's gonna be that type of game.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because like they even make the QBs go through tackling drills.
For real?
In practice, I swear, like going hard, and we're like, bro, come on, we didn't even throw the ball to really like even go through a tackling drill.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I got cut one time in that game, and like the dude hit me in my thighs, and I started seeing stars. I'm like, bro, I ain't never experienced nothing like that. Like I got cut, and then like I'm running. So the player, I'm just like, oh.
No, it's no.
Like, did I just get hit in the head? Like, no, dog. Like, I got cut. I was like, bro, cause like the linemen, they don't look where they cut. They just go out and cut. And if you in the way, you get cut.
Yeah, and they don't come up past a certain level.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, why? Why? I think they went on like a 15-play drive, bro. It was just like 3 yards apart, 3 yards apart, 3 yards apart. Yes. I was like, bro,
but that's our goal, though. Like, our coach is like, as long as we get 3 yards of play, we'll be fine.
Bro.
I'm like, bro, that's why we waste 15 minutes off the clock. That's just so.
Yeah, I know. And then both of us was running the ball. I mean, but we threw it a little bit more than y'all. Mm-hmm. But I was like, man, jeez. Would you rather play a team that throw the ball or run the ball the whole game?
I say it's a lot more entertaining when people. I mean, it's not too many surprises you can give.
Bro, I asked this question to somebody the other day because I was like, you seen West Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, would you rather play them or play Army? And I was like it was a tough question because it's like either way, it's tough. Because like if you playing the pass the whole game, it's like you get so used to playing pass, then they just mess around and run it.
Yeah.
But then like you play like an Army, like it just smashed my football for 60 minutes.
And you gotta make business.
Ain't no running from nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You just gotta get in your mind. It's gonna be that time of day you play them.
Nah, think about our scout team. They go through that all year, every year.
That's tough.
Like I feel so bad for them. I was red jersey lifestyle. I ain't never get touched. If a quarterback got touched, you got in trouble.
Y'all practicing pass like 24/7?
Nah, so like we'd have some days it'd be like helmets and shoulder pads and shorts, and then we'd have 2 full pad practices
Oh,
throughout the week.
okay.
But our scout team, whoo, buddy.
So y'all had like wake up every day type stuff. Like how that process go on?
So like, let's say, we had like A days and B days. So we had math every day though. So they had math every day, and then
Math? What you mean?
like math classes.
Oh.
Yeah. So like I'll wake up in the morning, shave, brush my teeth. Gotta shave every day. No facial hair. And then get my uniform on, whatever uniform of the day was. I mean, that could be anything. It could be white over gray.
Yeah.
It could be all grays, camo, ICUs, all that stuff. And so then you get ready, and this thing that freshmen had to do was called minutes. And so you would sit in the hallway with all the freshmen.
Yeah.
And you like stand at attention, and he'd be like, 10 minutes until morning formation. And you just do it every minute on the minute.
Every minute?
Yeah, and you have to be in unison with everybody. So like everybody be like 10 minutes until morning. And then we had to call out the meals of the day. So like breakfast, you'd be like, for breakfast, we are having eggs, bacon, chocolate milk, and Powerade.
So y'all had to do this every day?
Every day. But like I would always use some excuse. I'd be like, I got practice, like I can't do it. Or like they be doing cleaning duties or something. I'd be like, we got the team meeting, I gotta go. And so then
so it's like the football team kind of, you do it everybody that's in the academy type stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so everybody grouped in together?
Yeah.
So I got you.
We still end up doing everything they have to do, but it's just we do it on our own time because like our schedule.
Football.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then but like I'll wake up, go to morning formation. We take accountability, make sure everybody was there, and it's mandatory for football players to eat breakfast. So we go to breakfast check. The food there was terrible. Like,
it's better here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my. We'd had hard-boiled eggs that weren't hard-boiled. They were runny in the inside. But the outside was like, it didn't make no sense. And they gave us fish out of the Hudson River one time.
Is that the river right behind y'all?
Yes. They just and cooked it. And I was like, I'm not eating that. Like, I ain't never eaten lunch.
But ain't like river fish the best, I think?
Not the fish they got. I don't know what fish they got, but it was not it. It was not it. But
oh man.
Nah, and then we go that breakfast check, and then go to classes, and then I finish my classes probably about 1:15, 2, depending on the day, and then I just head straight up there, and they'd have like burritos for us, and like all types of food, because we just had a whole bunch of money, and then exactly, and then
backed by the president.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly, and so
plenty of money.
We go up there. We had meetings. We'd lift, have more meetings, and then we go practice. And we wouldn't get off the field till like 8 something. And then we always ate dinner as a team. So like we would get catered barbecue from like Pennsylvania and like all this different stuff every night. And we'd eat as a team. They take us on buses back to the school, and then we just do our homework from there. But that whole COVID year, we stayed in a hotel off campus. Like,
for real?
Yeah, for a while, and then they moved us to our hotel on campus, and we stayed there for like the whole semester.
Dang, so y'all couldn't go home, or?
Nah, we couldn't even leave the campus. Like, that's why people were so mad when we was traveling to games, because they were letting our family come to the games. They was like, we ain't seen our family.
Oh, you couldn't see your family?
Yeah, and so they were like, we ain't seen our family. It's not fair. Their parents get to come to the games and all that. COVID was crazy though. Like, it was like, because we already can't leave, and then they really like, we couldn't leave our rooms at a certain point in time. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
Dang.
Yeah. It was crazy.
I thought we had it bad.
Nah, y'all ain't have it bad.
So what made you get up out of there? Like, how does that work? Don't you sign a contract when you like get in, or?
Yeah. So basically, you're on a $500,000 scholarship. That's how much the scholarship's worth. And you could stay up until your sophomore year, last day, and leave, and you don't owe no money back. But like once you sign your junior year, like you actually sign the contract. Once you enter that first day of classes, your junior year, and then if you get kicked out or you leave, then you owe them $500,000 back. Yeah, I don't know how you gonna make it, but
I have to stick that out. $500.
Exactly. So pretty much your first day of class is junior year.
So freshman, sophomore year, you could stay, and then you could dip if you want to. Yeah. But after you sign that junior year, you pretty much in it till it's over.
You in it to win it. You got the last 2 years, and you got 5 years of service.
So, okay. So, the last contract is when you sign the service contract?
Yeah, so like basically you go through West Point for 4 years, and then you owe 5 years of service to the military, to the Army.
So you don't owe nothing though.
Mm-mm.
Okay, you
Yeah,
good.
I left before
You
that.
good.
Hey, but a lot of my class did do their 2 years, and like everybody in the transfer portal right now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because they didn't want to stay. Like I went in with like 40 people, and there's probably like 4 of them left. Damn. Yeah, it's crazy. And the only reason they can't leave because the GPA low.
They can't leave?
Their GPA too low.
I mean, but they gonna hold you there?
I've been out of school for a year and a half.
Oh, so you saying, they trying to go play somewhere else?
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
But the thing is, I'm not gonna do it, but I can show you messages where like I was like, I want to leave, like I want to transfer.
Yeah, they're not going for that.
Didn't even reply. Look, didn't he? Head coach, OC, QB coach, everybody.
What's it?
No reply.
Yeah, put that back down.
I swear, bro. And then I hit him with this, bro. It was like summer, and I was like, I really want to come back and play for y'all. Text 30 seconds. I'm getting replies. I'm like, all right, bro. Like it's OD. So then I gave him a call. I gave the head coach a call. Actually in November, when I heard they hired a new head coach and all that down here, and I was like, look, bro, it's been a year and a half. Like, y'all ain't brought me back. Y'all ain't let me go. So I was like, I didn't transfer portal. He's like, I think that's a good idea. Now I ain't played football for a year and a half. I just been training in hopes that maybe one day I'll play for a program.
So you decide to leave and then you just train type stuff?
Yeah, I just train with my trainer. Cause I was like, I'm gonna play football again somehow, right?
So you weren't in school at all? You just took a year
For
off?
the whole past year and a half.
How was that? Being by yourself and training? I know, because I ain't gonna lie, training by yourself probably the hardest thing to do because you really don't got nobody to push you or motivate you, to be honest. It's so much easier to train like with a team in a group environment.
Right. Yeah, so like, I don't know, my trainer, like, we talk about it all the time because I told him, like, he knows everything. So, like, this whole past year and a half, I basically lived out of my car, lived on people's couches, all that stuff, right? And then, like, I had my whole closet, like trash bags in my back seat and my trunk and everything like that. Yeah. And I ain't really had nowhere to go, so I just traveled and like I was just hitting friends up like, hey, can I come just stay a week with you, and all that stuff. And I actually lived with my best friend here in Georgia Southern for like 2 months. And then I started going somewhere else and stuff like that. And then
that's how you thought about coming here, or?
Yeah. And so like I told him a year ago, which is so funny because I didn't know where I was gonna go. Right? I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I was just like, I'm gonna come here, bro. I'm gonna come here and play. And then it ended up happening. I mean, God works in crazy ways, but you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I don't know. It's just been a long year and a half, and like,
go ahead and tell us about your story.
Yeah, so like, I'm like, I ain't gonna say that I was ever gonna give up on my dream, but it was just like, it's hard at times, right?
You kind of like thought about it.
Yeah, exactly. And so like,
contemplated it.
Yeah, this whole past year and a half, like training, like you say, like, I'd be days with my trainer and I just wouldn't have a good training session. I'd be like, I feel like I'm training for no reason.
Right.
Like, I've been out of school for a year and a half. We've been doing this for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing happened. He was just like, be patient. It's going to happen. Like, all that stuff, right? And so it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's just kind of hard to see what God has in store for you when you're going through the water, right? So it's just like, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. But as far as my life goes, like, you want me to start from when I was like...
Yeah, start from the beginning because I want the people to know the whole story.
I got you. So,
that story I heard in training room, I said, God damn. I want them to know the whole thing. Let them know.
I got you. So I'm going to start. So my mom was really young when I was born. I was born 2 months early. I was born premature. My mom was 16 when I was born. My dad was a little bit older. My dad was actually in a marriage for 23 years and had an affair with my mom one time. Didn't even know she was pregnant. She just disappeared until he got a call from the hospital saying I was born. My mom had my brother at 12 years old. She got pregnant at 11. So she already had a 4-year-old by the time she had me when she was 16. So she's a teenage mother. My mom did a lot of drugs. So I was born with bacterial meningitis, FAS, which is fetal alcohol syndrome. I had spinal fluid in my brain and I had jaundice. Right, I shouldn't have lived, right? So like when they tested me, when I came out the womb, my mom didn't see me. But when they tested me when I came out the womb, I tested positive for THC, I had alcohol in my system, and I had cocaine in my system. And so basically, usually when a baby has spinal fluid in its brain, it doesn't drain. and they ended up being mentally handicapped. And luckily, mine drained, and so I didn't end up mentally handicapped, but they had to put me in ICU like immediately after I was born because like everything was collapsing, everything was failing, and all that stuff. And but basically, my dad calls me a miracle child because like all that stuff I had, I shouldn't be able to survive it.
Yeah, that's a miracle.
Yeah, and so then I ended up getting really sick once I got out of the hospital. I stayed in the hospital for like 2 or 3 months after.
So you had like autoimmune disease?
Yeah, and so like I stayed in the hospital for like 2 or 3 months after I was born to like rehab from all the drugs and everything else. Came home for like a month, ended up getting sick and went in the hospital for like another 3 months. And so then my dad obviously had a 14-year-old son. Actually, I think it's 13 with his wife, who he had been married to for a long time. And so what my dad would do is that he would come on weekends and get a hotel, and then he'd see me and then go back to home to his family during the week and all that stuff. And my dad was a millionaire. My dad did real estate and all this other stuff. And but he lost it all the year I was born. And eventually his wife found out about me. And then she kind of stayed around. I actually got her birthday tattooed on me because she raised me like I was her son, even though I wasn't. And so, like, she's a queen to me because that takes a lot of strength in a woman to do that. And then, but she basically raised me like I was hers. My dad couldn't get right, so eventually they divorced. I lived with my dad for a long time. We lived out of his car and his truck. We would sleep on the side of highways and stuff like that. And a lot of times cops would like knock on the window and be like, "Y'all all right?" He's like, "Yeah, we just had a long road trip." Yeah. He's like, "We just had a long road trip. We were trying to get a little nap in, and all that stuff." And I didn't know this till I got older, obviously, because I was super young. But my dad was telling me how he was like, we would go to IHOP once a day, like different IHOPs or Waffle Houses. He's like, we eat a meal, and then like he tell me to go to the bathroom, and like we go to the bathroom and just walk out, because he didn't have money to pay. Right. He was like, I never wanted you to starve. So he was like, we do that all the time though. Like, and we just go to different IHOPs in different cities so they wouldn't like catch on. And so then he did that for a while, and then I think we moved in with his mother, my grandma, first, because I remember living with her with elementary school. So we lived with her for a while, and then my dad and mom had kind of worked out this agreement where like, because I wasn't school age yet, but when I went to school, I would live with my mom, go to school with her, and all that stuff up in Atlanta and stuff like that. And then I see my dad on the weekends or holidays and stuff like that. And so then I went to pre-K and kindergarten with my mom, and then my mom was still like, my dad was giving her money and stuff like that, but she was using it for drugs and stuff like that. And my dad's a recovering addict. Like he was an addict in the 80s and 90s. But my dad's a recovering addict. My mom's still an addict to this day. And so then she just used it on drugs. She was never there. So my brother, who was 4 years older than me, he would just take care of me. We'd be in the house by ourselves. And like we didn't really have much. Like we didn't even have a TV, but we had like one of them little leapfrogs or whatever. Yeah, like we'd always play on the leapfrog, bro. But like he would always beat me up. Like I could never use it, so I ain't have nothing. I just be sitting there like. And we had bunk beds, but the bunk beds didn't have no mattresses. So it was just the frames, the little metal frames, because we had the metal bunk beds, and we just put like layers of sheets on it. So like,
I think I know it, like the big metal bunk bed.
Yeah, the big metal bunk beds, and we just lay sheets on it, because we didn't have no mattresses and stuff like that. My mom was like the only one that had a mattress, and then we had a couch, I think. Yeah, and then we lived in like Section 8 apartments. I don't know if you know Section 8. Yeah, so we lived in Section 8 apartments and stuff like that. And then my mom had a boyfriend at the time. Which this is a crazy story because I didn't say this, but my mom's boyfriend at the time, he just got out of prison for murder. He went to prison for murder when he was 14. So he's like 30-something.
He fresh out.
Yeah, he was fresh out. So when I was born on his birthday.
Your boyfriend's birthday?
Yeah, her boyfriend's birthday, yeah. And so when I came out, he's like this black, like this dark. My mom's dark. Yeah. I came out white with 3 freckles and baby blue eyes. She didn't even think I was her child. She was like, "Y'all mix my babies up. Y'all mix my babies up."
So your mom black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so then
your dad black or white?
White.
White. Okay, your dad white.
As white as it can get. As white as it can get. Yeah, like English, British, Irish, all that. He's got it. But and then
he got you, the perfect mix.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got audio on this side, audio on this side.
Literally,
then we got my boy
literally
right here.
Literally,
all right.
Yeah. And so then, he signed my birth certificate. when I was born.
The
Her boyfriend. And my mama
that's possible? They can do that?
apparently. Because up until I was 12 years old, my name was Tyrone Grant II. He named me.
You ain't even know. Bro just showed up at the hospital inside it. All right, this mine right here.
He named me after him. I was Tyrone Grant II up until I was 12 years old. I got my name legally changed.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so, like, my dad was like, think about my dad picking me up from my mom's house. And he's like, Tyrone Grant II, but this is my son. Like, I got a DNA test and everything. And he named that to some other man.
If bro was in prison,
Yes.
you just got out and signed it.
Yeah, exactly. And so then my mom didn't know who the dad was originally before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then so she was gonna name me Larry Miguel Arnold. She was gonna cover all the bases. Cause my dad's first name is Larry. And she was messing with some firefighter who was like Hispanic. His name was Miguel. And Arnold was like some other dude's last name. So she was gonna cover all the bases in one. Cause she didn't know whose kid it was.
I said, I don't know who it is, but shoot, it gotta be one. It gotta be 1, 2, or 3.
So
We gonna knock them all out.
So my dad was like, "You not finna name my son Larry Miguel Arnold." So
You would have been all messed up. If I thought you white, Mexican.
Look. Knowing that story, I kid you not, bro. I was growing up and we had, I forgot their name. It was these Hispanic kids that lived below us. And we used to always play with them. And I used to get really tan in the sun. Mm-hmm. And so my skin color was the same as theirs.
Yeah.
And I came in the house one day, I said, "Mama, I think I'm Mexican." She slapped the freckles off my face. Like, I'm talking, I went into the wall. My brother was like, he was looking like this, and I'm like, oh my God. I never said it again. But I didn't even know my race really. Like, I didn't even know my ethnicity growing up.
For real?
Yeah, because I was calling 2 different people dad.
True.
So it was just like, what am I? You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I was just like, what am I, bro? Like, it's just so confusing, but like, one of them was giving me presents all the time, and the other one was like actually taking care of me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm finna call him dad as long as I'm getting presents. What you mean? I played it until I was like 7, 8. I was like, my dad was like, don't call him dad. And I was like, all right, go over there, dad. But nah, but so on a serious note though, like, he was like really abusive though. Like, he used to abuse me and my brother and my mom and stuff like that. So I grew up in that type of environment, and it was just like, I don't know, bro. It was just like, it takes a toll on a kid, like when you're that young, and then like you want to protect your mom, but you like 5 and you can't do nothing because he's like 36, so he just throw you, and it's just like, it was just a whole bunch of trauma and stuff like that. And so then eventually, I went to go live with my dad after kindergarten, and I think it was in the summer actually, because I spent the summers with my dad, and my mom was like, I ain't seen my son in a while, like I want to see him. So then we met at the Chick-fil-A in Stonecrest in Lithonia, Georgia. I'll never forget this. This is like the earliest memory I got of like my mom for real. And so then she pulled up in a van with Tyrone and my brother in the backseat, and she came out to give me a hug. And my dad's been handicapped my whole life. Like, my dad can't walk well.
Don't tell me they snatch you.
No. Listen, like, you try to kidnap your own kid.
They snatch you and
I swear. So look, my mom said, grab me, ran with me to the car. She tried to throw me in the back seat, so my brother grabbed my arms. I ain't never seen my dad move this fast. My dad like 365 pounds, like 5'11".
Yeah.
And he waddled. Boy, that man said,
oh, no, he wasn't going for none of that.
He was going, grabbed my ankles, pulling me out the back seat or whatever. And my mom ended up grabbing my arms, and they basically like got me suspended in the air, like tugging me. And so the Chick-fil-A worker come out, hey, you want me to call the cops? My dad was like, I'm not letting go till the cops get My dad like, I'm not letting go till the cops get
You better call somebody.
Yeah, and so then the cops finally show up. They let me go or whatever. And then I don't know the conversation they had. I got in the back of the cop car. They took me to the Cobb County DSCS, so foster care and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They took me to a foster home in the Cobb County. I thought it was the funnest thing ever, bro. It was a whole bunch of kids my age. We was playing Hot Wheels on the little.
You don't know no better.
Yeah, at the time I ain't realized, like, dang, I just lost both my parents. But at the time, I'm just like, it's me and this boy Tony. I wish I could find Tony. Tony's my best friend in foster care. But we used to race these Hot Wheels down this little long wooden hallway all the time. And so then I got picked up by this older white lady the first night. And she brought me home, and she sat me on a beanbag in front of this fireplace. I ain't never seen a fireplace. I ain't never seen a beanbag. I'm freaking out. Like, I'm like, oh, my God. She gave me milk and cookies. I ain't never had milk and cookies. I'm sitting here like, this is the best thing ever. She took me back the next day. Sad now. Next day, so the next day, older black lady picked me up. She take me to her house, and she gave me, like, Vienna sausages and some ramen. Bro, I said, through the ramen, through the Vienna sausages, like, because I had, like, bad anger issues. I dealt with, like, a lot of anger issues when I was growing up. But it was, like, the only way I knew how to get the, like, reaction out of somebody because that's all I had seen.
Yeah.
And so then I was just like, and so she took me back the next day. And then they worked something out with, like, my aunt because I got an aunt that's in foster care. Mm-hmm. And so I lived with her for, like, a month. But I didn't know who she was. Like, apparently she was my aunt, but, like, I ain't
You just thought she was just a random lady.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, I remember the first night I was there, I was walking down the steps, and they had a big house because they got, like, 14 kids. And so, like, 14. Yeah, because she does foster care, so she has a lot of kids. Okay. Yeah, and so then I remember the first night I was there, I think I'm, like, 4 or 5. I got to be young. I'm pretty young. And so then I remember walking down the steps, but I didn't know the house. So I got to make it to the bathroom. I don't make it to the bathroom, so I just poop myself. And so then I'm just walking. I'm waddling through the house, trying to find a toilet and all that. Didn't work out for me. Anyway, eventually I get out of foster care. My dad gets custody of me. Yeah. And now it's like opposite. Like I live with my dad and go to school, and I see my mom on the weekends and stuff like that. Yeah. And so she's supposed to pay like a certain amount of child support every month. And I think she makes like the first 2 months payment and never pays again after that. So which
they locked up?
No, I can sue her for that and get all that money back. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
They would have locked the brother up.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, but anyway, and so then, I go live with my mom, and my mom, like, my dad's like lower income too, so we don't really have much, but we got a house. And then my mom just kind of lives in different apartments. And when I lived with her, we just kept our clothes in boxes because we'd always move so much. Like, she'd move in somewhere.
You never unpacked?
Yeah, she would move in somewhere, wouldn't pay the rent. We get kicked out, move somewhere else, wouldn't pay the rent. And it was just like, it was a constant cycle. And so then I stayed with her. And then it was just like my whole family's like in gangs and all that stuff. So I grew up around gang violence and drugs and all that stuff. All that. And my mom was an addict, so she obviously did drugs and all that stuff. And then I was 5 years old. I saw my cousin get shot and killed in front of me. They were playing a dice game. Somebody ran around the corner, shot him and killed him. We was all running. My brother could like pick me up. My brother was like 9, I guess, if I was 5. And then he kind of like picked me up and kind of like ran with me around the corner to where we were safe or whatever. Got shot and killed there. And then when I was 8, his brother got shot and killed in the same place, in the same neighborhood. And so I saw both of those. And so it was like, at a young age, I had seen a lot of stuff that like I thought was acceptable, right? Like just violence.
You thought was normal.
Yeah, and then so it was just like I became numb to a lot of stuff at a young age, but it kind of ruined me later on in my life, and I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. But but I never told my dad about these things, like, cause I didn't want I wanted my mom in my life. Like I feel like every kid wants a mother in their life, like, wants their mom in their life, right? And so it was just like I was doing whatever it took for like my mom to like actually want to be in my life, cause I know she didn't, cause like she would disappear or she'd say she was gonna pick me up, wouldn't pick me up and stuff like that. And so, like, at a certain point, I just stopped getting my hopes up. But so I lived with my dad through elementary school. I was a good kid. Everything went fine. Middle school, I kind of, everybody's trying to figure out themselves in middle school. And
hit puberty.
Yeah, exactly. And so then
weird stuff start happening.
And then it was just like, it was crazy, but I was the biggest nerd. Like, shirt tucked in, high water jeans, Reebok Zig Techs on, like cleanest, buzz cut.
Hey, chill. I had the Zig Tech too.
That's what, but they hard. Okay, but not with the high
basketball
water
jeans
though. Not with the high water
jeans. Not them.
I had the high water jeans and the white tube socks on. You know what I'm saying? So I was really.
Nah, you weren't going that hard.
I was killing the game. I was in fine arts in middle school. Okay, lead singer. Yeah.
Oh, you were going too hard.
Club, yeah. I didn't even play football at the time.
Oh, so at this time you ain't play no sports?
Well, no, I played football, but it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so like in 7th grade, I tried out for the team, made the team. They cut me like the first week, and I was like, dang, I was like 5'2", bro. I was so tiny. And then I'm gonna tell you what really happened. Though. I started dating this black girl in 7th grade, and she was just like, "You gonna wear this? You gonna act like this?" I swear on my life. But I'm listening.
She bossed your life up.
Hey. Shout out to her, because she did boss my life up. I'm not going to hold you. Shout out to her.
It changed the whole trajectory of my bloodline.
Changed me forever. There's no telling where I'd be right now if it wasn't for her.
Shout out to her. Shout out to that black queen.
It is Black History Month, so shout out to her for real.
Shout out to her, man.
But so anyway, and then So she was like, you gonna get your hair cut like this,
Yeah.
wear these type of clothes, get these type of shoes.
Yeah.
So my birthday came around. I got my first pair of Jordans. I got some holes in the jeans. I'm talking about, I came with a tent fade. I was a new man, boy. I was like, yeah, crazy. Still had the high water jeans though, cause I ain't know it no better. But
Yeah. But at least you
improving.
was improving. You was improving. Baby
So
step, baby step.
Anyway, so then we dated for a while, and then I started getting into like cool kid shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like wanting to be a cool kid. So then I started doing like jumping people in the bathroom.
Nah.
like we started.
Nah. Let's say rub me that 30 real quick. Rub me that quick 30. Let's run the quick 30.
I swear. And so then we starting our own groups because this one middle school had like their own group. So then we started this group called the Fast Money Boys. We wasn't making no money though. We was broke, like lint in the pockets, bro. But as long as you act like you got it, people don't think you got it. See what I'm saying? So I was like,
that's funny, bro.
So I was like initiating it. I was like, all right, so we gonna get right.
Bad Money Boy.
So then, in order to get in the group though, you had to get jumped in. So like somehow I end up becoming like the lead boss of this group.
The lead guy.
And so I'm like, oh, he want to get in? We're gonna give him 60 seconds, 2 rounds. And so like I'm leading.
Y'all go at 2 rounds.
But I was smarter than everybody else in the group because like I said I was a nerd, but I always been like a smart kid or whatever. And I kind of stayed out of the mix growing up. But then I got into middle school and it was just crazy. And then my brother is 4 years older than me. So then if I was like 14 at the time, he was like 18. Mm-hmm. So he was already selling drugs, all that stuff. Like he already had his own thing going. And he had money though. Like, cause selling weed make a lot of money and then selling other stuff make a lot of money. And so then I was just like, put me on.
Yeah.
So then my brother started like fronting me bags and stuff. Mm-hmm. So then I started selling weed and stuff like that. And then started making money. And like I was 14 years old coming to school.
In middle school?
Yes. Like I was 14 years old.
4 pockets full?
Nah, 2.
2 pockets.
Maybe 2.
The front 2? Yeah, the front 2.
But I had it triple folded to make it look like it was a lot bigger than it was. But I was coming to school with a lot of money, and then by the time I got in 9th grade, I was like making bread for real because I was selling lean, selling weed. I had upgraded from everything, and I had people selling for me. So like I started a business with it, and so then what happened is I went to Rockdale High School in 9th grade, and then like I played football there, but the football program wasn't good, so I like went to some AAU team, ended up breaking my thumb for that AAU team. And so they kicked me off the team at Rockdale, and then I just started playing for the AAU team for the rest of the season. And what happened is I was in class one day, and the teacher was like, Christian, let me see you outside. And I was just like, what? And so then she like, bring your book bag. Brought the book bag with me, had 2 bottles of lean in there, and then the cough syrup bottles like unlabeled. And she was like, what is this? I was like, I've been sick. She was like, why you take the label off? I was like, I don't know. I just like doing that with all my bottles or whatever. So then they took me to the principal's office and all this stuff. And they gave it to the cops because we had cops at our school because we were a big school. And then they tested it. Then they said they needed to test it or something, which I don't know how that works. But they said they needed to test it. And when they were pouring out, I'm just thinking like how much money I'm losing, right? And so it's just like, but I got like pictures of me when I was 14, 15 years old wearing $1,000 outfits to school, right? And it's like, so everybody liked me because I had money. Mm-hmm. And so then when I was 14 years old, my brother, like I said, everybody in my family's gang affiliated. So by then my brother was in the gang. He was non-trade gangster, which is blood gang, Billy gang. And then, so then of course I was like, let me get in.
Yeah.
They beat the daylights out of me. They jumped me to get in. So I joined blood gang. I was a non-trade gangster. And our set eventually ended up getting dubbed out. So I'm not a blood no more.
Yeah, my boy changed life.
So my brother's non-deuce. But so after that, I got caught pretty much, and then the principal called my dad and was like, you gonna have to come here, and all that stuff. And they said it ended up testing positive for nothing, which I don't know what they was testing it for, but and then my dad came, like, what did you testing the lean for? Like, what do you think I put in there? And so then my dad came. And they sent me back to class, which was weird. And then I came back, and then the principal was talking like, yeah, I didn't test positive for anything. We're just going to suspend him for 10 days, all that stuff. Yeah. And so then...
It's 9th grade.
Yeah. And so then my dad was like, okay, so he just come home with me now? I was like, no, Dad, let me stay for the rest of the day, get my work that I'm going to miss for the next 10 days. I already had a 1.2 GPA. I obviously wasn't doing work. And so then my dad was like, can you do that? And she was like, yeah. So I stayed for the rest of the day, didn't even go to the rest of the classes. And I was just like, hey, this is my last day in here, bro. Like, we got to live it up. So we just doing dumb stuff in the halls and all this stuff. And then I missed the bus on purpose to take me home. And then, cause I knew my dad was just gonna give me a good old fashioned ass whooping.
Yeah.
Home. So then I was just like, dang, bro. So then I missed the bus, walked home. It's like an hour and a half walk. And so then I walked home, but I was taking all the back roads. Cause I knew my dad was gonna be looking for me on the main roads. So then I was taking the back road. I'm almost home, and his ex-wife, which is funny because they live like their backyards literally touch now. They moved like literally right down the street from each other. But his ex-wife saw me and she was like, "Your dad's been looking for you." I'm like, "I know." And then she's like, "Well, hop in the car. I'll take you." I was like, "No, I'll go. Like, I'm gonna make it. I'll start running." So I'm running or whatever, and my dad's truck's not in the driveway. So I'm like, if I can get in there and get to the bathroom before he get home, I'll be straight. Cause like after working, he come home and fall asleep in that chair. So I'm like, as long as I make it to the bathroom and sit there long enough.
You had the whole game plan.
Yeah. So then I'm running. As soon as I hit the driveway, he come around the corner. I'm like, oh, he saw me come in. I still run in there, run in the bathroom, close the door. I sit there long enough, and like you can hear his recliner go up, and that's usually when he fall asleep because he start relaxing. It wasn't going up. I was already in there for an hour, and I was just like.
Oh, you tried to wait it out?
Yes. So legs is numb.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait one of them whoopers out before
Yeah, so legs is numb and all that stuff, and eventually I hear it go up, and then I'm waiting on the snores. I start taking a shower. The water just running. I'm not even in the shower. I'm just sitting there. Like, come on, bro, fall asleep. Then I start brushing my teeth, start shaving. Like, I'm doing all types of stuff, and then eventually he fall asleep. I go to bed at like 7:30. I walk in my room, lay in the bed, I'm going to sleep. I hear my dad walking down the hall at 1 a.m. I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm just waiting for the belt to just, and I'm just sitting there like this. Because, you know, like, I don't see him, he don't see me.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there just waiting. It ain't never happened. He ain't never whooped me that week, which is crazy. Because every other time he whooped me, but he ain't whooped me that whole week. I was suspended those whole 10 days. Anyway, I ended up going back to school, get caught with marijuana and narcotics in my blue bag, and that's when they kicked me out.
They kicked you out?
Yeah, so my dad was like.
They sent you off
after
that?
Yeah, so they kicked me out, and then my dad was like, I don't know what to do with you. Like, we're going to have to send you to a juvenile detention program or something. And Beyond Scared Straight was like a big thing then. So
you went to that?
No, but but my dad was like, I'm going to have to send you over here. But I was really one of those kids where it's like, man, I'm not worried about that. Like, right? And so it was just like.
You was with whatever back then.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I really wasn't, though. And so then, so my dad was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with you. And I had a 1.2 GPA. So it was just like, you got kicked out of school. Like, I don't know where I'm going to send you. Like, I can't afford to, like, send you to no private school or anything like that. And so then my aunt and uncle called my dad in the summer and was like, try to get him to come to our school where our kids go or whatever. And my dad was like, there's no way he's getting in. He got a 1.2, done been expelled, like, and all that stuff. And then he was like, they was like, just try it. He's like, he's good at football. Our school's really good at football. We can probably try to give him a scholarship here and then all that stuff. And so then he was like, all right. So on the way up there to go visit the school, we get pulled over for a speeding ticket. My dad's got a warrant out for his arrest.
He get arrested.
Yeah, so then he get arrested. I'm 14 at the time, so I'm a minor, so they got to sit there and wait. I don't got no family and I don't got no phone. So it's like somebody got to come and pick you up. I'm just like.
So during all this time while you was wilding, you was balling too at the same time?
Kinda, yeah. So like I kind of stopped. Like I said, I didn't really take football serious till I got to that private school.
Okay.
So like I'm playing football, but I'm not really playing for a goal. I'm just playing just to play, like to do something.
So you just playing to stay out of trouble at this point.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then, and it still wasn't working. I was still getting in trouble, and then so eventually.
It's not with the law.
Yeah. Exactly. So then my dad gets out, and then we actually go on a real visit, and I show him like my 9th grade tape, and he's like, "You're really good. I'm gonna try to get you here." And he's like, it's going to be hard with your GPA and all that stuff. So then they made me take like an entrance exam and all that stuff. And then, so then I take this entrance exam, and then they were like, oh yeah, like he'll be straight. Cause like I was a smart kid, I just didn't want to seem smart to people. Cause like I struggle with like identity issues a lot. Like all my white friends would be like, oh, you're trying to act like a thug if I wasn't doing it in class. And then all my black friends would be like, oh, you're trying to act white because you're being smart or making good grades. Right?
Yeah.
So it was just like,
you're both.
Yeah, exactly. And I was always so confused, bro. And I was just always so confused. I was like, I don't know who I want to fit in with. Like, I don't know the culture, like, and all this stuff. But
so you say, did you have like hard time just being you, just growing up?
Yeah. So like a lot of times, so like I developed this sense of worthlessness as a kid because it was just like, once I went into foster care, I was like, damn, like my parents don't want me. Like my mom don't want me. My mom left my life after I got out of foster care, I never saw my mom again.
You still haven't seen her?
Well, like I seen her now. Like she tried to come back in my life once I got into college.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's clout chasing, right? Like, how you gonna reach out to me now
Yeah.
that your son made the college football, like that Division I level, right?
Yeah.
But you ain't want to have nothing to do with me my whole life. And then me and my dad's relationship fell off after I went to this private school, which I'm getting into now. So like, so I ended up getting accepted to this school or whatever, and I was playing football, and they gave me a scholarship because obviously I couldn't afford to pay for the school. And then I lived with my aunt and uncle. That was like the plan that they arranged, and then they were like very strict, disciplinary, like we're gonna do everything on a schedule, everything on time, which eventually ended up helping me get into college and stuff like that. And then, but I had to take all my 9th grade classes and all my 10th grade classes in the same year.
Oh.
Yeah, so like it was hard, but I ended up doing it because I had to boost my GPA so I could be like able to get a scholarship. And then I lived with them, and then my dad found him a girlfriend who's an addict, like she was addicted to narcotics, and which is not smart because my dad's a recovering addict, and so like I just didn't agree with the life decisions he was making. And then that's when I started taking like my life serious, because I was like, I want better for my life. Like I ain't never had nothing growing up, and I don't want my kids to feel like this, because I always felt like just like I never had a chance, right? And I don't want my kids to feel like they never had a chance. And so like I started taking life more serious, and I started like following the path of God. I went to a private Christian school, and I ain't believe in Jesus. I ain't believe in God, none of that stuff, right? Like I heard about it and all that stuff. And then when I got there, it was just like, when I got into college really is when I looked back and I was like, as many doors as God has opened for me. And it was just like, I spit in his face so many times, but he just kept giving me chances, kept forgiving me, and all that stuff. And I was just like, it's crazy how he moves, but like a lot of times when we're so caught up in the turmoil of life, like you don't even realize. Like, he's working in crazy ways, and you don't even realize it at the time because you're just like, man, life is so bad, life is so depressing.
Amen.
Yeah, but it's just crazy. And so then my dad is Captain Save-A-Ho in some way, and then he was like, she's so nice when she's off drugs, but she was never off drugs. And then she started stealing money from us. She started stealing money from where I saved it as a kid, like stealing silver and gold coins from under my bed and stuff like that, and selling to the pawn shop to get money for drugs. And so then I was just like, yeah. And then like me and my dad's relationship kind of fell off. I stopped talking to him, and then she's still with him to this day. So me and my dad like barely talk still. But I was just like, yeah. So I kind of fell off then. And I started focusing on football, and then I started getting scholarships and stuff like that. And ended up getting an offer from West Point. And so my aunt and uncle was like, that's a very prestigious school. Like, now, you would have told me 3 years ago I would even got a scholarship to play football, I would have laughed at you in your face. I'm like, I'd be in hell or dead, like, honestly, if I was following the same path. And so then it was just like, I had a lot of drama in high school, like a lot of drama. I went through a lot of stuff. I did a lot of dumb stuff, right? Like, because you can take that kid out of that environment, but like I still had it in me.
Right.
So like now we're trying to start a whole new
life.
Exactly.
Whole new identity.
Exactly. And so then I was just like, this is crazy, really. And so then my aunt and uncle was like, we think you should go here. So like, really? So me and my cousin 8 months apart, we played high school football together. And then we played at Army together. He was a offensive lineman. He played center, and I was gonna go play quarterback. And so then they were like, we think it's best for you because you thrive under structure and discipline and stuff like that. Because I ended up graduating high school with a 3.8 from a 1.2. Yeah. And so then they were like,
bro.
appreciate it. And then they were like, we think you should go there. It's what's best for you. Like, you'll succeed there. I went there. It was not what was best for me. Like, it was, as far as structure, it was like over structure. Like, it was somebody constantly telling you like when to sleep, when to eat, when to shave, when to brush your teeth, like when to go to the bathroom, when you can.
So you saying you need some structure?
Yeah, exactly. And so then I went there, and then, like I said, I kind of like stopped talking to them because I say college is kind of like when you're going through puberty, because it's like you're just trying to figure out who you want to be as
you're just trying to find yourself.
Exactly.
Like who you gonna be the rest of your life.
Exactly. And so then for me, it was hard because like I never had a good male role model to model myself after. And so then I kind of try to start branching out and finding my own different ways of the man I wanted to be. And then, but I had nobody to call on, like I had nobody to talk to. So then
you're just really figuring out by yourself.
Exactly. And so then I started feeling like lonely and depressed my first year in college, and I tried to leave West Point 3 times, and then they said no to me. They wouldn't let me sign the papers.
Your parents?
No, the officers in charge. Oh, okay. Yeah. And so, but then I would call my aunt and uncle, and they were like, no, like everybody goes through it, and it's not. But that's really the start of my depression. And then I'm gonna get into it, but that's really when my depression started, and I didn't realize it was depression at the time because like my dad didn't believe in depression. Like growing up, my dad was just like, rub some dirt on it. Like,
A lot of
you'll be
people don't
fine.
believe
Yeah,
in depression,
exactly.
but
So
it's
my
real.
dad was a big tough love guy. Like, he was just
Yeah.
like, you're not depressed. But the thing is, my dad went through depression. Like, when he hit bankruptcy, he went through depression. Had to go to therapy for it. My uncle, it like runs in my family.
Yeah, they say it's hereditary.
Yeah, and so then my dad never told me about it though. But like my dad would always treat me, oh, you're fine. Men don't cry, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And men do cry, bro.
They
Like,
do.
right. And so it was just like, but I didn't realize all that, so I just kept everything inside. And then
You try to tough it out.
Yeah, exactly. I kept everything inside. So then that second year came around, I was there, and then it was just like I was seeing so much corruption, and there was so much racism within the school and like within the cadets, and I was just like, why do I want to go to school like this? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, and then I kept branching out to my dad, and my dad was like, you'll be fine. Like, you're just in your own head right now. You're just in your own head right now, right? And then I just like started relying on other stuff, and it was just like, and then I got injured, so I couldn't play football no more. Right. So then I was really depressed, and then I got so depressed that I lost 18 pounds in 2 weeks. I started throwing up.
You stopped
everything.
eating?
Yeah, I stopped eating. Like I couldn't, and then when I tried to eat, I just throw it up, and all this stuff, and so then.
Did you ever seek like any mental help or?
So yeah, what happened is my attack officers and like my teammates and stuff, they were like you're not the same person you usually are. And so then they sent me off to a mental hospital for 31 days. I went to a mental hospital. They sent me off campus like an hour north of West Point. I was in that mental hospital for 31 days, and when I tell you it was the worst, best days of my life, because like I learned more about myself in that 31 days than I had the whole 20 years of my life. And it was just like, I never say I hit rock bottom because I always believe there's somebody lower than me.
Yeah.
So I can't say I've hit rock bottom, but I've hit low. Like, that was the lowest point in my life ever.
I mean, rock bottom for you.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, I hit the lowest point in my life ever, bro. And I was just like, this is really it. Like,
Yeah.
and I just thought my life was over, bro, because I was just like my parents don't believe me. Like, when my dad doesn't believe me, my aunt and uncle don't talk to me no more. And I'm just like, I cut everybody off, and I was just like, this is it. Like, this is it for me. I was just accepting my life for what it was, right? And I was just being passive in my life, and I wasn't being active. I was just letting life happen to me, and I wasn't doing something about it.
Right.
And so then I got in there, and then I had to take these tests and all that stuff, and they diagnosed me with like schizophrenia. And I was like, I definitely don't have schizophrenia.
Now,
right?
what is that?
So schizophrenia is like, I know there's different types of schizophrenia, but for me, it was like, I told them, like, I talk to myself, like, in my own head, like, but I feel like everybody does that. Like,
Yeah, I
do.
do.
Yourself, like, you have voices in your head, but they took
Yeah,
it as,
it tell you do like crazy stuff that
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't do.
yeah. And so then they were like diagnosed me with schizophrenia because my cousin had schizophrenia, and she killed her husband because of it. Because like it was telling her like, your husband's trying to kill you, like kill him.
Oh no,
yeah.
no,
And so
no.
they
I don't got
diagnosed
no
me with
voices. No.
that. Yeah, exactly. So they diagnosed me with that, and I'm like, I don't have that. Like, I don't have like crazy out of pocket thoughts.
Yeah.
I just like talk to myself, right? And so then they dismissed that, and then they ended up diagnosing me with bipolar disorder, multiple personality disorder, because like they kind of go hand in hand. Whereas
When your birthday?
April 12th.
Okay.
It's not a. Don't say it's a. Don't say it's a. Don't say it's an April thing, bro. Do not say that.
Now, what's the stars thing the girls be doing? Cause I'm
Zodiac sign?
Yeah, zodiac sign. I'm a Gemini, and they be like, I got multiple personalities. I'm like, well, I ain't know that.
Yeah, no.
It's like I said, you two-faced. I'm like, what? He's
No,
like, yeah, they
every
say
time I
Gemini's
text
got multiple personalities. I was like, oh, okay. I
Oh,
didn't
the
know.
stars telling you that?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, but nah, that's people always say that. They be
Oh,
like, oh, you're aggressive. I'm like, what? The stars is not telling you that about me. Like, come on, bro.
yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Oh man.
But nah, and so then I was in there, and it was like, I don't know if you even know what goes on. So like, basically, you can't have any clothes with strings on them. I'm pretty sure I had these in there, but like, you can't have any clothes with strings on them because they'd be worried about you
Hang yourself.
And then like the phones, they got like payphone type things, but the cord's really short, so you can't wrap it around your neck. You can only eat with like plastic utensils, but you have to throw them away. Like they have to see you throw them away. And somebody's checking on you every 15 minutes because obviously reasons.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I felt like I was in prison, bro. Like it felt so
Did you have your
bad.
phone or
No, so there was
Nothing.
no technology whatsoever, no internet connection, no nothing.
So it's really some soul searching time.
Yes, like you was just in there, but I was in there with some legit schizophrenics, like
Oh, so
crazy.
well,
people.
so were you like in there? You was like, yeah, I'm not really crazy. Like I really don't know why I'm in here.
Yeah, so like, and then I was trying to tell them that I was like, I'm not like, I'm just hurt. Like
you just kind of like depressed down, but you're not like throw it off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But speaking of throw it off, bro, like I remember the first morning I was there, I was eating breakfast, and it was me and this lady sitting right here. Nobody else was at the table. She's like, so how was your day yesterday? And I'm like, I just got here this morning. And she just kept talking. And I'm like, you lying. In my head, I'm like, who is she talking to?
It's like some stuff you probably seen on the movie.
Yes. And you don't think it's real.
You don't think it's real, but then you actually see it. Yeah.
No, but that's real life. And I was just like, let me just continue eating these eggs, because if I say something wrong, but like, and then it was some people in there that had really bad anger issues and stuff, and like, people would try to escape, and they called it the code orange, and so like, people would like run away, and they like tranquilize the people that ran away, and then drag them back in and stuff like that, and they like feed you meds.
So that's some like they really.
Yes, that's all that stuff.
I thought that show was like.
No, all that stuff you see in the movies is crazy, right? And so like.
So really, like, boom.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man.
Hey, I swear, it's bad. And so
Did you ever take meds in there? Or?
So what happened is, at first I was faking the meds. Like I do it and hide it under my tongue, and then when I walk away, I spit it out in the trash can. But they got cameras like everywhere in there, so apparently they end up seeing it. And then they were like, I talked to the therapist, and she was like, you're gonna have to take the meds so you can get better. I'm like, I'm not sick. Like, this is like a mental thing. I can't get out of my own head. It's not like I'm actually sick.
Yeah, you was like, I really don't have like a disorder.
Yeah.
Like a real disorder. You just kind of like down at the moment.
Right. And I didn't know like what to think or how to prevent that or take measures to get back out of it. Right. And so then I was just like, man, this is bad. Right. Like, how do I explain to them? And they thought I was like hiding stuff from them. And I was like, I'm not hiding stuff. Like, I'm legit. Like, I don't have a problem. I just need to know how to get out of this headspace that I'm in. And so then they were like, they tried to take me to court because I wouldn't take the medicine. And then I was like, look, I'll take the medicine for a week. And I was like, but if I'm not out of here by a week, I was only supposed to be in there for a week. And then, so then I was like, if I'm not out of here by a week, I'll take the medicine for a week if you let me out. And they were like, okay. I took the medicine, bro. That whole week I was just like this. Yeah. A zombie. And I was just moving around. Like, I couldn't function right. I was like, this is terrible. Like, why do they do people like this? Like, they just drug you up so much where you can't feel anything. And I hated it, bro. Like, I couldn't laugh. I couldn't smile. I was just like this. Yeah. Just moving slow. I ain't want to eat nothing. I feel like it might calm. I feel like it's supposed to calm people down, but if you're okay, then. Yeah, exactly. And so then they, that's what it was though. Like, they put me on like calming medicine. Because they said I had high energy. I'm like, yeah, you just took a 19-year-old at the time, a Division I football player out of that, and I just sit in here all day. Like, we go outside for maybe 30 minutes a day. I was like, this is legit prison, like a prison yard. Like, we go outside 30 minutes a day, shoot some hoops, and then come back in. I was like, that's all we did. So after a week and you took it, did they let you out? Yeah, so they let me out. So it was 31 days. I get out, and then and there's two detectives waiting on me when I get out. And then I had to go through a court case. Somebody accused me of something I didn't do. So I had
in the military?
Yeah. Oh. And I had to go through a whole court case for it. And so then during that court case, though, they released me from school. And they were like, when we decide that whatever the court case, we'll let you know if you can come back or if you can't. Anyway, the court case went on for a long time. And then nobody was like texting me. Nobody's answering my calls or anything like that. So now I was just like, bro, like, what do I do? And I was just sitting there existing. I got a car when I came home. I flew home December 9th or 17th, I think. I think it was the day before my dad's birthday. Came home, and my aunt and uncle had moved all my stuff out. It was all in trash bags. I bought a car with the money I had, put all the stuff in trash bags, and just traveled. Nobody would let me in. Like, I didn't have a home to go to. Lived out my car for the past year and a half. Then I couldn't get a job because, like, the thing is, if you're not released from the Army, then being in the Army is your job. And so, like, you work for the government, so you can't get another job unless you sign, like, all this paperwork and stuff. But nobody was answering me from the Army, so I couldn't sign that paperwork to get a job. So I'm literally just existing, like, just going in the stores, like, stealing bags of chips just to eat something, bro. And I was just like, it was so bad. And then, like, and I had been homeless before, and it was just like, it's worse when you're older and you know what's going on because you know how, like, you know how
you kind of realize like when you're younger you really don't comprehend what's going on.
Exactly. And when you're older, because you know how like people come up to your car asking for change and stuff like that, and then now you feel like that person, but you're like, I'm legit, like I don't got nothing for real. And so then they was just like, I was trying to find anything, just like I'll go to people's house and be like, hey, you need like gardening or something? Like I just need
Just to make some money.
Yeah, and I was just like, and so it was so bad, bro. So like I went to like every state. Like I lived in Florida for 2 months. I lived in Georgia. I lived in Tennessee, South Carolina for this whole past year and a half, just aimlessly moving. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I didn't know where I was going in my life. And then I went to my best friend's family's house in Athens, and they were like, look, you got to do something with your life. Like, we can't let you just wait. You got too much talent. Like, you can't just waste your life away not doing anything. And I was just like, you're right, but I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to go in my life. So then I left. I ran away from my problems or whatever. And then just started training eventually. And then finally they let me get a job. So then I got a job for like a month before I left. And then reached out here. And then got the opportunity to come play for them. And I was like, yes. Like, he's like, you got any other offers? I was like, it don't matter. Like, I'm coming here.
Right. There's opportunity you're looking for.
Yeah, and I was just like, it doesn't matter. I'm coming here. Like, I just wanted that chance, right? And, like, all that to say is just, like, no matter what you're going through in your life, bro, it's just, like, you always got to have beliefs in something. Like, you can't just aimlessly go through life. Like, you have to have a belief, right? And like Coach was saying the other day, like, you'll do things in your life based upon the belief. Like, you can't just have, like, you can't just be like, because if you just go to bed and, like, those 7 a.m. workouts, you're like, dang, I got to work out, bro.
Right.
But if you believe you want to be great, right? Like, I want to be great every day. So I'm like, I'm going to get up today. Like, when I'm sitting there, oh, man, I got to get up for workouts. No, bro, I'm not like that. Like, I can't be like that, right? Like, I just got another opportunity. God just blessed me with another opportunity. So every day I'm going to wake up and like, let's get on it. Let's grind.
So what, when you say you was, like, just going through life, what, like, kept you going? Because obviously you kept going because you're still here.
Yeah, so.
Like, what, when you woke up every day, what was your goal or your why when you waking up?
Right,
or
so, like.
Have you not found that yet, or what's
so
going on?
I'd say is that, like, I feel like all of us as a kid, especially at the Division I level, we've all had aspirations and dreams of playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was just like, I know that I have the talent to play at the next level, right? And I feel like everybody should have that confidence. Like, a lot of people say that's cocky, but I feel like if you're playing at this level, you should feel like you're able to play at that next level. Like,
right.
Otherwise, what are you playing for? Like, you're just playing just to play. Like, listen, at this point, there's no reason for that. Why abuse your body for 4 years if you don't plan on playing it? Right? And so it was just like, I feel like my why was like my little sister. So I got a little sister that's 13 years old, and like my mom's not really in her life like that either. And so like I kind of helped pay for her to go to a private school. And it's not the best private school, but I don't make that much money, right? So it's just like I kind of pay for her to go to private school because I want her to have a better life, and I don't want her to have teen pregnancy like my mom did. And I don't want her to follow in all those statistics footsteps. So like ever since I was a kid, I always like wanted to be different than everybody. Like, I never wanted to be the same. And people always made fun of me for being different, like having a different personality or being a nerd or being too white or being too black and stuff like that. And so I've always been different, but I always looked at it as a negative way. And then sometimes in life you got to realize, like, being different is a good thing. Like, I don't want to be like everybody else, right? Like, I want to be something special. I want to be the best at this. I want to do this. Like, I want to do something nobody else has ever done. And so, like, I feel like during that time, like, yeah, I was still depressed. And I lost my way, and there was plenty of days where I woke up and I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, not necessarily saying I want to, like, commit suicide, but saying, like, I wouldn't mind if I just didn't wake up.
Right.
And so it was just like, but that's really, I tell people all the time, when you go through depression, that's when you find God the most. Like, and I wrote a poem when I was in that mental hospital, but I also wrote something, and it was like, symbolizing a lighthouse. Your lighthouse is your freedom from depression, because lighthouses lead boats in from the dark so you know where you're going, right? And like when you're in depression and those waves are coming and crashing on you and just crashing on your head, you don't see that light. But I was like, no matter how rough the waves and no matter how dark the night, at times you may not see it, but there's always a light.
There's always a light.
Always a light.
Just look up.
Exactly. And so like, even when it's hard, you don't see that, bro, but there's always one. Like, God's always reaching out his hand. Like, and that's why it's in my bio, God's son, right? Like, at times I'll be like, man, why is he doing this to me? And like, and I always question it, right? And it's just like, but that faith, I'm just like, you got it, bro. Like, I believe in myself and I believe in God, right? And God has never let me down yet. And even though it takes a long process, like this whole past year and a half, I've been like, what are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing, right? And I'm having conversations every morning, praying to him, like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on, right? But he had a process. You see where I'm at now, right? And I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to play this game that I love again.
So, would you say that, okay, coming out of the high school, right, you go to the private school, would you say that's one of the turning points in your life just as structure and getting back on that right path? And then obviously right now, I feel like you're in another turning point to, you know, set your future up right now with what you just went through, you know, kind of find yourself in, like, have you feel like you found yourself yet, or you still kind of finding, or how are you going with that? Like,
I'd say in some aspects, like I found like who I want to be, but like obviously in other aspects, like that'll come later in the future, like who I want to be as a father, right? Like I'm still figuring out who I want to be as a man, like within myself and the other people, how I want to be viewed as other people, and like injuries. So this is what I say. So this is what I say about like injuries in life. So like I don't want people to remember me as Christian Parrish, the football player. Like, I want people to remember my legacy about Christian Parrish, the person, right? And I want my kids to know that eventually when I have kids. But I tell people that all the time. Like, I don't care about the legacy I leave on the football field, but it's about the legacy you leave for your character. Like, I want people to remember me like that guy's a great guy. Like, he gave the charities, he took care of people. Like, he actually genuinely cared for people. He made people laugh. He made people smile. He gave the people that needed it, stuff like that. Like, I don't care about accolades on the field, bro. I never have. But I know that playing football and being good at a sport gives you that platform to reach those people, right? And I've always wanted to reach those people, and I've always wanted to have a platform to be able to, like, the kids that came out of stuff like that I came from, where it's like, I got no chance. So then they just fall into being another statistic. I'm like, but you do have a chance, bro. Like, everybody has a chance to do something. And I understand statistically it's harder for young black men to make it out of the places that they come from. Right? But it's just like, you still got a chance. Like, you control everyday attitude and effort. You control how much effort you give in your day and how much effort you're doing in school, how much effort you're doing in classes, how much effort you're doing in music. Whatever it is you're doing, you control all that. And you control your attitudes for your day. Like, yeah, you can be in the worst situations. And there's been days where I was in the worst situations. Like, when I was living in my car this whole past year and a half, I was just like, I could have easily just said, you know what? This is my life. I'm going to accept it for what it is. Not trained, got fat, got out of shape. But it was just that one thing holding on where it was like, I'm not doing that because I got a platform. Like, I want somebody to be like, that guy, like, inspires me, right? And I want to inspire kids. Because I never looked up to nobody. And it's like, I never wanted to be like nobody. But I always want kids to be like, he did it, why can't I do it, right? And so it's like, I want to be that.
Especially come from your situation and everything you've been through.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Now, last question. Well, hold on, we got something else. But, all right, so let me pose this. If you didn't have football, what else would you would want to do with life?
So, I'd say,
cause you know, I'm all about you know, lately I've been on, like, you know, using football as a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't the end all be all, but it's gonna get you where you go, you know what I'm saying? You make it to the league, great. That's just icing on the cake. So what do you wanna do if football, you know what I'm saying, you don't have football, you know? More than an athlete, you know what I mean?
Right. So, like, I'm big on, like I said, helping people. Like, I want to be able to, like, show these kids and, like, start charities to help kids, help fund kids with to get better educations in public schools and stuff like that. And it's just like, I majored in law and legal studies originally when I was up at West Point, and doing that because, like, I've seen how corrupt the system can be, and I've seen what it's done to my family and how it's ruined families. So, like, I wanted to major in that to be able to help people understand, like, because there's a lot of corrupt lawyers out there too, right? And, like, you can get any crappy lawyer and they might not even try on your case, but I want people to understand the law and be like, these are your rights. Like, I'm going to help you through this. Like, I'm going to try my best I can, like, to do whatever. And then coming here, I changed that major to, like, physical therapy side because, like, even when football is not around, I still want to help people get back and recover and be better than they were before they got injured and stuff like that. But as far as, like, what I want to do as, like, that's a job, but, like, as far as, like, what my mission is before I leave this earth, like, I want to come in contact with thousands of people and inspire thousands of people. And I won the like, the elective for, like, motivational speaker in high school, but it's funny because, like, I actually want to.
I mean, you got a great story too to motivate.
Like, I somewhat want to be, like, a life coach for people, but I've always wanted to start this thing to where, like, I go to lower income households or, like, I start this school and I fund it completely but it's a private school education, but for lower income kids that can't afford it. But I'm completely funded, so they get all that education they need.
Like some LeBron James.
Yes,
school.
because I kid you not, like if I would have stayed in the public school, going to that private school absolutely changed everything. Like there was a turning point in my life because the teachers actually genuinely cared for me. Like they actually helped me learn. They actually wanted to know more about me and my life more than you as a student.
Yeah.
Like it was about who you were as a person, right? And so like it actually did change me because that environment of like people actually loving and caring for you and supporting you boosts you overall, right? Whereas if you come from an environment where like your family's out there selling drugs or in the streets or gang banging and stuff like that, and you're trying to come home in that environment and be different and study and work hard and all that stuff, it's kind of hard because you're distracted.
It's kind of hard to focus all that going on around
and so
you.
like I've always wanted to start programs like that, but obviously that has to come with funding. Like I have to get funding in ways like that. But so yeah, that's always what I wanted to do as far as that aspect. Like you said, though, football is a vehicle to hopefully get.
Yeah, I just want to challenge you to really these next couple years while you're here to find out, because I don't want you to be stuck in some situation and you still be able to take care of your family even if you don't make it. You know what I'm saying? Praying you do though. But, we gotta use this game to take us to where we need to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We use it, take us to the lead, use it, take us to financial freedom. You know what I'm saying? That way you still can start that school no matter what.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But so last thing I got. I want you to give somebody some flowers. So who do you want to give some flowers to? Somebody that you feel like in your life is underappreciated or, somebody that was really there for you, rough time, and just, want to give them some praise right now for helping you out.
So I really say my dad's ex-wife. Her name's Tammy. Tammy Henry now. She's remarried. But like I said, I got a crown and her birthday tattooed right here on my arm. She's definitely a queen for sure because after everything my dad put her through, she still raised me like I was her own kid. So I definitely want to give her some flowers, but I always gave her crap growing up because I was like, you're not my mother. Like, you can't tell me what to do. But like, she took care of me like she was, right? And like, I know for the longest I underappreciated her, but I know like whenever I sign that first check or whenever I get that first whatever, she's getting on.
You gonna take care of her.
Promise you.
Shout out to Miss Tammy, man.
For sure.
Shout out to Miss Tammy, man. Man, it's been great having you on here, man. Telling people about your story, man. I can't wait for them to hear it, man. Appreciate it, man. You rest up that hamstring, get you right. My boy gonna be scoring a lot of touchdowns this year in Paulson, baby.
Yes, sir.